Since the mass demonstrations in Northeast Florida 2 summers ago, have things changed? Have they changed enough? A Jacksonville group working on the disconnect between law enforcement and the black community comes to a controversial end.
I just felt that we didn't have the right people at the table to make this work.
What I'm talking about here is the need for us to be honest and straightforward with each other. This is a warning.
We're hearing about the reasons some wanted it to be over and why some pleaded for the Safer Together Committee to continue. Plus, Leanna Cumber joins us, winner of a local award pointing to her work against sex trafficking on This Week in Jacksonville. And welcome today. An eventful week when it comes to a Jacksonville City Council effort surrounding police reform. The Safer Together Committee met just over a week ago, and then one of the chairs resigned. A group sent a collaborative letter to the City Council president, and then the council president seemed to say it's all over. In part, Sam Newby's memo to fellow council members says this forum has provided individuals an opportunity to share their experiences or the experiences which shaped their attitude regarding our policing community. For the accomplishment of these goals, I am grateful. Lastly, thank you for the final report that has been submitted and duly noted. And he titled the memo Safer Together Workshops Completion. So City Council members Joyce Morgan and Michael Boylan led the committee formed by late City Council President Tommy Hazouri. Boylan resigned from the committee Monday, and we'll hear from him in a moment. I spoke with Morgan late this week.
I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed that Mr. Boylan stepped down. I'm certainly disappointed that President Newby decided that this is the end. I wasn't shocked, though, because he did pull me aside and say that he was leaning toward not having the committee meet any longer.
Councilwoman, do you think that the committee's charge, the goal it had when Tommy Hazouri as council president kind of created this more than a year ago, do you think you completed what you set out to do?
I do not think we completed what we set out to do, because the biggest thing about this was communication. It was about the conversation. And, I'm especially disappointed because the conversation was sometimes contentious. But I said that from the very beginning, that this was going to be a difficult conversation, that it was not going to be easy for any of us. It was not going to be easy for the Sheriff's Department to listen or the police union to listen to what citizens had to say. But it wasn't going to be easy for the citizens either to listen to what the other side had to say. So we were all in this together, and we have to remain together as we move forward as a community. We can't polarize ourselves, and one camp stays over here and one camp stays over there. Nothing ever gets accomplished that way. And I'm really tired of that here in Jacksonville. I want to see us do better because we know better.
So as we've gone through this week, and I've interviewed various groups, activists, what have you, the activists that I've spoken to in the Black community say they still aren't being heard because a citizens review board hasn't been instituted or adopted. Do you agree with that? Is that the only way to bridge this gap or rebuild or establish trust between law enforcement and our African-American community?
I think it is one tool in the toolbox that has many things that we can do as a community. This has been done in other communities around the state of Florida. We can do it as well. It's the conversation, though, that has to be had. It can't be stifled. It can't be stopped, because when you stop that, you stop the inertia of a city moving forward. Jacksonville is a bold city. We keep saying we're a bold city, but we have to take bold steps, and we can't be afraid because of what we've heard. We've just got to do the right thing. And I just wanted to do the right thing. And I wanted to be a part of this because I felt that the conversation was so necessary. And it's still necessary. Believe me, Ken, it is still necessary.
A lot of people felt like, hey, the timing was right because of what happened in 2020 and in that summer, and because of the terrible passing of George Floyd, the timing seemed right. Are you disappointed by that element as well, that it seems to be stopping right here before a big change happens?
Absolutely. And I believe that we are not genuine when we are only willing to talk about the things that we agree upon. That's not genuine. That's just saying that, oh, I'm only here if you're going to talk about what I want to talk about. We have to be able to open the dialogue to the conversations that make us different. Then we will be able to move forward with the conversations where we are all engaging and we all feel the same way. But we have to be able to do both in this community, and it's time. We can do it. We can do this. I believe that.
Final thought, what's next to try and make that change between the community and law enforcement?
First of all, like I said, this is the Safer Together Committee was just one thing in a toolbox of many things going on in the community. There are conversations. This was unique and different because it was your city council. It was your city council doing this and seeing that there is this kind of discord and pain in the community. That's the difference. So there are other conversations. Those conversations will continue. And we all just have to get involved in that, be a part of the other conversations, and make sure that those conversations are leading to meaningful change in our community and change for everyone, not just for people who believe that there's something wrong and we need police reform, but for the police as well. This is for the entire community, not just for one group.
Vice Chairman Boylan sent his letter of resignation Monday, explaining he no longer believed progress was happening or would happen. In the final committee meeting a week ago Friday, Boylan says the level of participation was too small and too limited to provide a diversity of input. Boylan said he wouldn't support a civilian incident review board, and he no longer thought a civilian policy review board would be successful.
Policy Review Board really grows out of the experience we've had in these 9 workshops, a chance for JSO to share what they are doing in our community in terms of engagement, in terms of training, and conversely, an opportunity for the community to share with them ideas that might improve their policies and practices, which Director Bruno actually had noted a couple of times that it was worthwhile in that respect. So the concept of a policy review board was an opportunity to continue and to codify, if you will, that kind of practice. An incident review board really is something else. You know, you're walking a tightrope and trying to do that because of federal state laws, and I think it's much more volatile in terms of the kind of reaction it might have in our community. I was looking to build something.
Boylan told me that he was disappointed in the outcome, but remains committed to improving trust between police and the community. Well, to bring you more reaction on the Safer Together Committee developments, the author of a letter sent representing 15 people or organizations, all in support of the committee. That's next. Stay with us on This Week in Jacksonville.
Fender benders seem like no big deal. But what if I told you the rapid head movement from whiplash can cause brain damage? We know it because we've seen it. If you're having symptoms like headaches and memory loss, Farrah and Farrah can help.
All Denny's pancakes are made to order with fresh buttermilk, but this month's Spotlight Stack feels like fall and is the pumpkiniest, pecan pie drizzliest, and most gram-worthy of them all. New pumpkin pecan pancakes, this month's Spotlight Stack. See you at Denny's.
Wow. No braces, everything's hands-free. I wasn't so lucky.
Invis is not your parents' braces. Invis is faster than braces and the clear aligner brand most trusted by doctors, Invisalign.
Welcome to News 4 Jax Plus. Stream hyper-local news on your smart TV, anytime, free. And stream 24/7 headlines and I-Team reporting from News 4 Jax reporters. Easier than ever to connect live with the local station.
Hi, I'm Greg with JWB Home Buyers.
And I'm Pablo, and we want to buy your distressed house.
We've bought property for cash from over 2,000 Jacksonville homeowners.
With no commissions and no repairs.
We love to buy empty lots and houses in any condition and any price range.
Whether it needs a ton of work or is in pretty good shape, we buy them all.
So if you have a house or lot that you need to sell fast,
give us just a few minutes on the phone today.
Call 904-333-3333.
Oh, I missed you.
You just want to video call the kids.
Okay. Hush, little baby. Don't say a word. But if slow upload speeds turn your good night call into an accidental horror movie,
Can you hear me?
shut it down. Just remember, you're not a bad mom. You just need better internet.
AT&T Fiber delivers faster upload speeds for more reliable video calls. Get AT&T Fiber, plan starting at $35 a month for a year. Limited availability in select areas. Call 1-877 only ATT.
Seat number? This way.
Thanks. Excuse me. Just get it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Sorry.
When it comes to airplane seats, size matters. Same goes for your law firm, Morgan & Morgan,
Would you like some peanuts?
America's largest injury law firm.
In times of vulnerability and challenge, look to the first responders. In times of uncertainty and change, look to your first informers on the 10 o'clock news. Every late-breaking update.
Allowing evictions to resume.
Guiding you through the aftermath of the day, what it means for your tomorrow.
Changes have been coming into our newsroom all day.
The peace of mind you need every night before you go to sleep. The 10 o'clock news and News 4 Jax at 11. Channel 4, the local station.
You're watching This Week in Jacksonville with Kent Justice.
When the vice chair of Jacksonville City Council's Safer Together committee resigned from the committee earlier this week, a coalition of groups and individuals sent a joint letter to Council President Sam Newby. The letter implored Mr. Newby to let the committee continue the work. I spoke with Michael Sampson from the Jacksonville Community Action Committee just after we found out Newby announced that the committee's work is over.
You know, oftentimes it feels as though the community and their advocates were told that we have to respect the process and take part in the process. And that's exactly what we were trying to do. So to see that, you know, us taking part of the process led to Councilman Borland feeling uncomfortable and not wanting to take part of a process in which you have disgruntled community members who for years have had, let's say, issues with the sheriff's office and individual officers and their tactics, and, you know, are saying that there's a culture within the sheriff's office when it comes to maybe a lack of accountability or policies or diversity. There needs to be some changes. I think those conversations are always tense. I think Councilman Borland's letter, how it was written, it definitely frames a narrative that I think, you know, is beneficial to those who didn't want to have to go through this process. You know, I think is to put the pressure back on the public for not, I guess in some words, to paraphrase his words, being nice enough to, you know, the sheriff's office and the officers who were there, Director Bruno, who was at those meetings. You know, there were no personal attacks. You know, there were no blights on anyone's character. To, you know, put it back on the public is a shame. I think, you know, city council persons have a very difficult job in regards to they have to listen to the concerns of the community, and out of those concerns create policy that will effectively serve the demands of those constituents. And a lot of those demands from the broader community has been civilian oversight. And, you know, I think his letter was written in a way that was done to discourage the committee from continuing. And I think that's kind of what we saw from city council leadership. And it seems like, you know, it's another one of those situations in which a committee is formed to study a subject and a report is created, and then they put that report back on the bookshelf to collect dust. And we think that is not a palpable solution for the city of Jacksonville.
So what's next, whether it's for the Jacksonville Community Action Committee or the other folks who signed this letter to the council president?
Well, we will be next Tuesday before city council, coming together, having a peaceful rally with speakers and going to city council, giving our public comment and asking for them to reinstate this Safer Together committee. We've come so far as a city in the past, and like it seems like the past year has been a decade, you know, of different changes that we've seen, from the Confederate from names of schools being changed that, you know, were named after Confederates, to development happening downtown. The city is changing. in a lot of ways for the better, but in some ways it feels like while stuff changed, some stuff remains the same. And that frustration that citizens feel in regards to how they are policed, especially Black residents who live in, like myself, who live in, let's say, Black communities, we have a point. And we've been raising that same point for years and years and years. And at some point, it has to give. At some point, all our effort and all our work and all the work of advocates for years in the city around police reform is going to happen. And we're just hoping that city council leadership and other city council persons and other folks in leadership, even the sheriff, we're just hoping that they play a proactive part in that change. And, imagine 25 years from now, how does your legacy as a leader in the city wants to be remembered? Do you want to be remembered as somebody who effectively killed civilian oversight, or do you want to be remembered as somebody who helped bridge the gap between the community and law enforcement? And I think that's a choice that folks have to make for themselves.
Signers to the letter Sampson delivered to Council President Newby included State Representative Angie Nixon, the president of Jacksonville's chapter of the NAACP, and 13 others. City Council member Leanna Cumber is with us in just a moment. We're going to talk about her recent EVE Award and her ongoing battle against sex trafficking. Stay with us on This Week in Jacksonville.
It's a fact. More people die from medical malpractice than in car accidents. If you suspect a doctor or a hospital is to blame for an injury, call Farah & Farah. We specialize in these types of cases. Farah & Farah, here for you, here for good.
At ViStar Credit Union, you inspire us to deliver on our promise, to do good for our members and our communities. That's why we offer more banking options, like better rates and no hidden fees. We also give back, donating several $1 million to hundreds of nonprofits each year. Better financial lives, stronger communities. That's our focus. ViStar Credit Union. Do good. Bank better.
Holiday. Yeah, we're looking for the best holiday event. It's time to vote for Jack's Best. Just go to newsforjacks.com/JacksBest to vote for the best holiday event. Jack's Best, presented by Visit Jacksonville, where you're the local expert.
Oh, it looks like we're in a screensaver.
We need to go higher. Higher. Definitely higher.
We're like yodeling high.
Yodeling?
No, don't do that.
We should go even higher.
Yeah.
Oh. I'm good.
Me too.
Adventure has a new look.
Let's go lower.
Lower. That sounds good.
Discover more in the all-new Subaru Outback Wilderness. Love. It's what makes Subaru, Subaru.
I didn't have to shout out for help.
Because you didn't have another DVT. Not today.
One blood clot put you at risk of having another, so we chose Xarelto to help keep you protected.
Xarelto is proven to treat and reduce the risk of DVT or PE blood clots from happening again. Almost 98% of people did not have another DVT or PE. Don't stop taking Xarelto without talking to your doctor, as this may increase risk of blood clots. While taking, a spinal injection increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis. You may bruise more easily or take longer to stop bleeding. Xarelto can cause serious and, in rare cases, fatal bleeding. It may increase your bleeding risk if you take certain medicines. Get help right away for unexpected bleeding or unusual bruising. Don't take Xarelto if you have an artificial heart valve or abnormal bleeding. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures and any kidney or liver problems. Help protect yourself from another DVT or PE. Ask your doctor about Xarelto. To learn more about cost, visit Xarelto.com or call 1-888-XARELTO.
What we want to be able to provide is the ability for our clients to focus on getting better and to allow us to take care of the rest. As a mom, as someone who has both successes and losses in life, and in representing clients for nearly 20 years, I've learned a great deal from my clients. And it's all given me the compassion, the experience, and the confidence that I know I'm advising my clients for them to be able to make the best decisions for themselves.
You're watching This Week in Jacksonville on Channel 4.
Leanna Cumber is a recent winner of the Florida Times Union's EVE Award. She sponsored a city ordinance to prevent human trafficking in Jacksonville, explaining that the city is a center for human trafficking as a result of its location. Councilwoman Cumber joining us now via Zoom. Congratulations on that recent award. And maybe explain why Jacksonville needs to address this issue and how you're working on it.
Thank you, Kent. It's great to see you. Thanks for having me on. I was really honored to win the EVE Award. And, you know, sex trafficking is a huge issue throughout the country, throughout the state, and here in Jacksonville. And it's important that people understand that there are multiple kind of ways to be sex trafficked. And one of the most basic definitions, though, is what people used to think of as pimping. So it doesn't take someone to be kidnapped or so forth, like they kind of depict in Hollywood. It's, you know, what we see every day in various parts of the city. And so it's something that we really need to tackle because kids as young as 12 are being trafficked and, you know, younger and then all the way up. And so it's really damages the city as a whole, damages neighborhoods, families, and of course, women and girls. So I'm just so happy to be in a position where I can really work toward helping to eradicate it.
Is sex trafficking, is it the same as sexual assault, or are they attached? Are they connected in some way?
So, yeah, that's a great question. So sex trafficking is defined as when there can be an intermediary who is taking money for a sex act that someone else is performing, and then that person's kind of taking a cut of it. It can also be any time that someone is coerced or forced into a sex act. And of course, any time any of that happens under the age of 18, it's considered sex trafficking. So there is an overlap. It doesn't all sexual assaults are not sex trafficking, right. But I think you could argue that all sex trafficking would be considered sexual assaults.
So, Councilwoman, explain the ordinance. It was passed last year, but what did it do? And I know there's some controversy we'll talk about in a moment about it, but what did it do to try and attack this problem?
Yeah, so we did a couple of things. One of the things it did was work to heighten awareness. So we mandated that convenience stores and gas stations have signage and do training for all of their employees. And so, you know, that is kind of the front lines of seeing people. They see people every day. And so they're really in a position where their employees can kind of recognize something and call law enforcement. It also gives people who are trafficked the opportunity to see those numbers and so forth and see where they can get help. We also increased the dancing age at strip clubs from 18 to 21, which that is really focused on the sex trafficking because the average age to be trafficked is 19. And there is trafficking going on in the clubs. And so keeping women and girls out of that situation at that very vulnerable point before they're 21 is really important.
If I can interject.
Yeah.
So that particular part of this, so strip clubs in Duval County have filed a lawsuit over raising, I should say, the minimum age of strippers. As an attorney yourself, what do you think of that case? And is this on the federal level? Is that right?
So the case is in federal court, so I really can't speak to it. But, you know, I will say that based on the history that the clubs have of suing the city, it was not unexpected, but I certainly wouldn't do what's best and what's right based on whether or not we were going to get sued.
Understood. The ordinance that you passed last year also strongly encourages hotels and motels to post human trafficking awareness information in every room. And you created a sex trafficking survivors commission to advise the city on ways to eradicate this sex trafficking. What is coming out of both of those efforts so far?
So with the hotels and motels, it's really important for all of the hotels and motels to have the sex trafficking awareness, have sex trafficking awareness training, and also have the notifications. And you go to other states, other countries, and so forth, and they have it mandated. You go to hotels in New York, and there's signage because a lot of the sex trafficking happens in hotels across the country and across the world. And so that was really critical. And I know on the state level, there are some mandates for the hotels, and we're really hoping that the hotels and motels really join together with the city in doing this and helping eradicate this horrible crime. And we are working presently on populating the board so that that board can get started in really assessing what we're doing in Jacksonville to tackle sex trafficking and what more we could do.
Yeah. So in the final minute that we've got together on this topic, I know you're working to try and destigmatize this, especially for victims of what goes on there. Why has this been personal for you? Why has it been something that you've really focused on and dug in to say, we've got to make a change?
Look, it is critical that, when you look at statistics, countries that do not treat women and girls in an equal manner and do not treat them well don't do well. And so we really need to make sure that we are the leaders in the world of treating women and girls in this country the best that we can possibly do and as equal as possible. And so this is one of those crimes that overwhelmingly impacts women and girls. And so it's really critical to me now that I'm in a position where I can really tackle it from a legislative perspective to be able to give voice to a lot of women and girls who simply don't have that voice.
And I think a lot of people in our region or our city would say, really? That's a problem here where I live? And obviously you're bringing up the point that it is. Leanna Cumber from Jacksonville City Council, thanks so much for the time today.
Thank you, Ken.
All right. So on a new topic, this week, Governor Ron DeSantis announced that he will call state lawmakers back to work early, wants to pass legislation to combat coronavirus vaccine mandates enacted by businesses. The governor said this week that he wants a special session to take place next month. Ordinarily, state lawmakers wouldn't be back in session until January, although they are in Tallahassee several times in the coming weeks for committee hearings. At a news conference announcing the special session, Governor DeSantis said people shouldn't be discriminated against based on health decisions. Other states are considering anti-vaccine mandate bills as well. Last week, for instance, Texas Governor Greg Abbott issued an executive order to prohibit any entity from requiring vaccines. In the coming weeks, we'll be talking with our state lawmakers about this potential special session. Thanks so much for being here today. Next time we're together, Mike Freed will join us. The local attorney will explain why he is yet again going to run 6 marathons in 6 days. Wow. And wow from the Women's Giving Alliance. President Jan Healy will join us to discuss the impact that they're making on women and girls in a 6-county area. This Week in Jacksonville airs each Sunday morning at this time. I'm Kent Justice. Thanks for watching on air on Channel 4 and the CW17. And you can find episodes online at news4jax.com.
See why every day more people are choosing News 4 Jax, Northeast Florida and South Georgia's #1 source for local news.